So this gospel reading today is a conversation Jesus is having with Nicodemus. Nicodemus, member of the Sanhedrin, wealthy man, lives in a large house, has lots of servants, very influential. But somewhere along the line, he must have stumbled on a crowd listening to Jesus, and he listened in. Whatever Jesus said at that moment intrigued Nicodemus. He found attracted and began to show up from a distance and listening to Jesus, and then decided, I got to get to know this guy better. But here's the problem. The temple priests and the rest of the Sanhedrin were having problems with Jesus. And so Nicodemus didn't want to publicly appear close to Jesus. Instead, he somehow got a message to Jesus to meet at night. And so Jesus would meet him at night. Meetings. But always at night. Now, nighttime is a little bit different in Jesus' day than today. Today, we have electricity and lighting. They had none of that back then. You may have the occasional torch or candle, but that didn't get you very far. When it was dark, it was dark, and you couldn't see. That's just how it's like being up north at a campsite, and there's no lighting anywhere, and you forgot your flashlight. Good luck. That's what it was like. So Nicodemus liked the dark because nobody else in the Sanhedrin or anybody that knew him could see that he's meeting with this Jesus and talking to him. You got to understand the setting for today's conversation. It's at night because Nicodemus will only come out at night. So Jesus has had a number of conversations with Nicodemus. Nicodemus, really likes getting to like Jesus more and more and more, and is considering becoming a follower. But this is where Jesus lays it down. You can't be my follower in the darkness, Nicodemus, because only in the darkness does evil happen, because it's not exposed to the light. But Jesus says he is the light of the world, and you must come into the light. In other words, if you're going to be my follower, you got to be open about it, and people are going to know about it, and you got to take the consequences that come with it. So what does Nicodemus decide to do? Well, if you do the Stations of the Cross on Friday, or you do the stations, or come to Living Stations of the Cross, you'll know that number 14, Jesus is buried. Joseph of Arimathea donates the tomb, but Scripture tells us Nicodemus helped him with the burial. This is Nicodemus's coming into the light, because that act would have been known. People would have found out about it. The Sanhedrin would have found out about it. And consequently, Nicodemus would face the repercussions of it. The tradition about Nicodemus says that he ended up losing his position on the Sanhedrin because of becoming a follower of Jesus. But Nicodemus was now in the light. It wasn't easy. It was very, very hard. But he finally made the decision to go public with his faith. It's hard in our world to be public with our faith. We live in a world, it's always been this way from the time beginning, has world values. We are in the world, we are not of the world. But it's particularly hard with our young people, because if you go to public schools, you're going to meet a lot of young people who simply don't practice any kind of faith at all, and it's difficult to be a person of faith. That's why we try to encourage their faith as much as possible. That is why we have our annual trip to Steubenville, so that the teens who go can be around 1,000 other teens who are alive in their faith, so they will not feel alone. And they will know that standing up for the Lord and standing up for their beliefs is something that while the people around them here might not understand, they'll know they're not alone. There's people all around the country that have a strong faith in Jesus Christ. And one of the ways the way that we finance it is through our golf tournament. Are anybody here play golf? Raise your hand. Golf players? Got a few? Good. We want you to sign up. And to tell you more about it, our youth director, Lauren Corbett. Lauren, come on up.